Chapter 2. Looking for identity. Why is it important to look for an identity? Identity is a fundamental aspect of human existence that shapes how we think, feel, and act. It is the unique combination of characteristics, experiences, and values that make each of us who we are. Developing a sense of identity is an important part of growing up, and it plays a critical role in shaping our lives and relationships. There are many reasons why it is important to look for an identity. Here are some of the most significant. It provides a sense of belonging. Identity helps us to find a sense of belonging and connection with others. When we develop a strong sense of identity, we feel like we belong to a particular group or community of people who share our interests, beliefs, or values. This sense of belonging can provide us with a feeling of security, stability, and comfort that we might not find elsewhere. It defines our purpose. Having a clear sense of identity can also help us to define our purpose in life. When we understand who we are and what we stand for, we are more likely to pursue activities and goals that align with our values and beliefs. This can provide us with a sense of direction and purpose, which can be essential for leading a fulfilling and meaningful life. It enhances self-esteem. A strong sense of identity can also enhance our self-esteem and self-confidence. When we have a clear understanding of who we are and what we stand for, we are more likely to feel good about ourselves and our abilities. This can provide us with the courage and confidence to take risks, pursue our passions, and achieve our goals. It promotes resilience. Identity can also promote resilience, which is the ability to recover from setbacks and overcome adversity. When we have a strong sense of identity, we are better equipped to navigate difficult situations and overcome challenges. We are more likely to have a sense of purpose and direction that can help us to stay focused and motivated in the face of adversity. It facilitates healthy relationships. Having a clear sense of identity can also facilitate healthy relationships with others. When we know who we are and what we stand for, we are better able to communicate our needs and boundaries to others. We are also more likely to attract people who share our values and beliefs, which can lead to more fulfilling and satisfying relationships. It fosters creativity. Identity can also foster creativity and innovation. When we have a strong sense of identity, we are more likely to be open-minded and receptive to new ideas and experiences. This can help us to generate innovative solutions to problems and develop new and exciting projects and initiatives. It promotes social change. Having a clear sense of identity can also promote social change. When we know who we are and what we stand for, we are more likely to stand up for what we believe in and advocate for social justice and equality. This can help to create a more just and equitable society for all. Developing a strong sense of identity is a critical aspect of human growth and development. It can provide us with a sense of belonging, define our purpose, enhance our self-esteem, promote resilience, facilitate healthy relationships, foster creativity, and promote social change. While the process of developing an identity can be challenging and complex, the benefits are well worth the effort. By taking the time to explore who we are and what we stand for, we can create a more fulfilling, meaningful, and purposeful life. How young people are typically looking for their identities. Young people tend to look for their identities in a variety of ways, and the process can be different for each person. For example, exploring interests and hobbies, we use our interests and hobbies to define ourselves. We may be passionate about music, art, sports, or other activities that help us feel unique and special. Seeking validation from others, we often seek validation from our peers or other important figures in our lives, such as parents, teachers, or coaches. We may look for approval and recognition for our accomplishments or personality traits. Defining ourselves through relationships with family, friends, and romantic partners can play a significant role in shaping our sense of self. We may seek to define ourselves by our social circle or the people we associate with. Exploring personal values and beliefs. As we mature, we begin to question our values and beliefs and explore new ideas. We seek to define ourselves based on our moral or spiritual convictions. Experimenting with different identities, it's not uncommon to try on different identities before settling on one that feels right. We explore different styles, attitudes, or behaviors as we try to figure out who we are and who we want to be. There are many different modern identities that a young person might develop, and the list is constantly evolving as society changes. And so, there is a variety of modern identities that young people might adopt. With greater awareness and acceptance of diverse gender identities, people are exploring different expressions of gender. This includes non-binary identities, genderqueer, gender fluid, and more. People are becoming more aware of their racial identity and the impact of systemic racism. This includes identifying as BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, people of color, and exploring what it means to belong to a specific racial group. Young people are exploring their sexual orientation and identity, including identifying as LGBTQIA+, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, asexual, and others. Also, people may identify with a particular cultural group, whether that's based on nationality, religion, or other shared characteristics, or may develop a political identity based on their beliefs and values, including left-leaning, right-leaning, or centrist ideologies. While exploring these identities can be empowering and liberating for young people, there are also some dangers associated with them, such as experiencing stigma. Some modern identities are still misunderstood, leading to discrimination or marginalization. For example, LGBTQIA+ youth may face bullying or harassment from peers, and BIPOC youth may experience racial profiling or discrimination. Another danger is going into an identity crisis. As young people explore different identities, they may experience confusion or a sense of disorientation. They may struggle to find their place in the world or feel pressure to conform to certain expectations. In today's polarized political climate, identifying with a particular political identity can lead to a sense of us versus them and contribute to divisiveness. Exploring different identities can also lead to pressure to conform to certain expectations. For example, some LGBTQIA+ youth may feel pressure to adopt a certain look or identity in order to fit in with a particular community. Last, but not least, young people who adopt identities associated with cultures that are not their own may inadvertently engage in cultural appropriation, which can be harmful and disrespectful. Sometimes our identities are shaped without us even knowing, by our experiences. It works great if those experiences are positive or challenging, just enough for us to learn our lessons and get stronger. But what if those experiences are negative? Their impact on a person's sense of identity might be enormous, leading to living a life we would not consciously choose. Here are some examples of negative experiences that can shape a person's identity. 1. Trauma. Traumatic experiences, such as abuse, neglect, or violence, can deeply affect a person's sense of self. It can lead to feelings of shame, guilt, and self-blame, and may cause the person to question their worth or value. 2. Discrimination. Experiencing discrimination or marginalization based on one's identity, such as racism, homophobia, or sexism, can lead to internalized oppression and a sense of not belonging. It can also reinforce negative stereotypes and lead to self-doubt and low self-esteem. 3. Bullying. Being bullied or harassed by peers can lead to feelings of isolation and worthlessness. It can also reinforce negative self-beliefs and cause the person to question their identity or place in the world. For identity crisis, going through a period of identity crisis, such as questioning one's sexuality or gender identity, can be a difficult and challenging experience. It can cause confusion, anxiety, and uncertainty about the future. 5. Social pressure. Feeling pressure to conform to societal expectations, whether it's related to appearance, behavior, or identity, can lead to feelings of inadequacy or shame. It can also cause the person to question their values and beliefs. 6. Family conflict. Conflicts within the family, such as divorce, abuse, or neglect, can deeply affect a person's sense of identity. It can lead to feelings of abandonment, betrayal, and insecurity, and may cause the person to question their worth or value. While it is valuable to learn from our past experiences and use them as a reference point, it is equally important to remain open-minded, adaptable, and willing to embrace new possibilities. Balancing past lessons with present awareness and future-oriented thinking enables us to navigate the complexities of life more effectively. Allowing our past experiences to solely shape our future can be potentially dangerous. It limits our perspective, leads to cognitive biases and self-limiting beliefs, among others. Limited perspective. Relying exclusively on past experiences can limit our perspective and prevent us from considering new possibilities or alternative approaches. Each moment is unique, and the future may present different circumstances that require fresh thinking and adaptation. Failing to recognize this can result in missed opportunities or poor decision-making. Cognitive biases. Our past experiences are subjective and influenced by our personal biases, emotions, and interpretations. Depending solely on these experiences can lead to cognitive biases, such as confirmation bias or anchoring bias, where we only seek information that confirms our preconceived notions or make decisions based on irrelevant or outdated information. This can hinder our ability to make objective and rational choices. Changing contexts. The world is constantly evolving, and circumstances change over time. What worked in the past may not be applicable or effective in the present or future. Technological advancements, cultural shifts, and societal changes can all impact the relevance and applicability of our past experiences. Failing to adapt to new contexts can result in stagnation or being ill-prepared for emerging challenges. Self-limiting beliefs. Relying heavily on past experiences can reinforce self-limiting beliefs. If we have experienced failures or setbacks in the past, it may lead to a fear of taking risks or trying new things. This fear can prevent personal growth and hinder our ability to reach our full potential. It is important to challenge these beliefs and embrace a growth mindset that allows for learning, exploration, and adaptation. Overgeneralization. Our past experiences are often based on a limited sample size, and it is risky to generalize those experiences to predict future outcomes. Making broad assumptions or generalizations based on a few instances can lead to flawed expectations and faulty decision-making. It is crucial to recognize the uniqueness of each situation and gather a more comprehensive understanding before drawing conclusions. What is the difference between adopting an identity and creating it? The process of developing an identity can take many different forms, and there are different ways to deal with it. One approach is to adopt an identity, while another is to create one. While these two approaches share some similarities, there are also some important differences. Adopting an identity involves taking on the characteristics and traits of an existing identity. This could be a cultural, ethnic, or religious identity, for example. When someone adopts an identity, they are typically accepting the values, beliefs, and behaviors associated with that identity. They may feel a sense of connection to the group that shares that identity and may seek to conform to the group's norms and expectations. Creating an identity, on the other hand, involves actively shaping and defining one's own identity. Rather than simply accepting an existing identity, someone who is creating an identity is more likely to think critically about what values, beliefs, and behaviors are important to them. They may draw on a range of influences, including their family background, personal experiences, and cultural or social influences. The end result is an identity that reflects their unique characteristics, values, and experiences. One of the most significant differences is agency. When someone adopts an identity, they are often doing so because they feel like they should or because it is expected of them. In contrast, someone who is creating an identity is taking an active role in shaping who they are and what they stand for. Another key difference is the level of critical thinking involved. When someone adopts an identity, they may not always think critically about the values and beliefs associated with that identity. Instead, they may simply accept them as a given. In contrast, someone who is creating an identity is likely to engage in more critical thinking about what values and beliefs are important to them. Finally, there is a difference in terms of individuality. When someone adopts an identity, they may feel a sense of connection to the group, but they may also feel a pressure to conform to the group's norms and expectations. In contrast, someone who is creating an identity is more likely to be focused on expressing their unique characteristics and values, rather than conforming to external expectations. Both adopting an identity and creating one can be valid ways of developing a sense of identity. However, there are important differences between the two approaches. Adopting an identity involves taking on the characteristics and traits of an existing identity, while creating an identity involves actively shaping and defining one's own identity. The choice of approach will depend on individual preferences, circumstances, and goals. Tool 1. Trusting yourself. When we are born, we have an unlimited trust in ourselves. How else would we be able to learn how to walk and talk? Yes, there is a primitive instinct at play as well, and a supportive environment helps enormously by providing safe conditions for early walking, muscle development, giving lots of playtime and encouraging the baby to move around independently and experiment. The caregivers can aid the development of the child. Environment giveth, environment taketh it away. We all agree that a supportive, non-judgmental environment can help, but what happens if it's not supportive at all, for whatever reason? This reason, mind you, might be totally external, but it is often internal, meaning that our own mind, led by our emotions and chemicals produced by feeling them, will convince us that we are not worthy of that thing we consider is important for us to reach happiness. Well, we might, little by little, lose the confidence we were naturally born with. Lack of experience. We may become convinced that we lack extensive life experience and may not have had many opportunities to test our abilities or make independent decisions. While this can be true to some extent, self-doubt and a lack of confidence in our own judgment can go well into our adulthood. Comparison with others. We often compare ourselves to our peers or societal expectations, which can lead to feelings of inadequacy or self-doubt. The comparison approach is often fostered by the culture, peers, or unaware caregivers. Constantly comparing oneself to others can erode self-confidence and make it difficult to trust one's own abilities and choices. Fear of failure. We may develop a fear of failure, often fueled by high expectations from parents, teachers, or society. This fear can hinder our self-belief and prevent us from taking risks or pursuing their goals wholeheartedly. Negative experiences or criticism. Negative experiences, such as failures, rejections, or harsh criticism, can significantly impact our self-confidence. If we receive consistent negative feedback or face significant setbacks, we may start doubting our abilities and lose trust in ourselves. Pressure to conform. Societal pressures, peer pressure, and the desire to fit in can influence us to suppress our own instincts, opinions, and aspirations. The fear of being judged or ostracized may lead them to doubt our own thoughts and decisions, eroding our self-trust. Lack of support and validation. If we do not receive adequate support, encouragement, and validation from our family, friends, or mentors, it can undermine our self-confidence. Feeling unsupported or unheard can make us question our own capabilities and worth. Mental health issues. Mental health challenges, such as anxiety or depression, can significantly impact our self-trust. These conditions can distort our perception of ourselves and our abilities, leading to self-doubt and a lack of confidence. These factors can vary from person to person, and each individual's experience is unique. Building self-trust requires self-reflection, self-compassion, and nurturing a supportive environment that encourages personal growth and resilience. The rebuilding trust exercise is a first step towards trusting ourselves again. It is very easy to do, and, if done consistently, over time it will greatly improve your sense of trust. 1. Create a safe and supportive environment. Find a quiet and comfortable space where you can focus without interruptions. Gather writing materials, such as a notebook and pen, and ensure privacy to foster a sense of safety. 2. Reflect on traumatic experiences. Take time to reflect on the traumatic experiences that have led to the erosion of self-trust. Allow yourself to acknowledge the emotions, thoughts, and beliefs associated with these experiences. Remember to use the grounding techniques explained at the beginning of this book, and do not force yourself to do anything that feels too difficult to go through. You are the main character here, and only you can decide how far it is safe to push yourself to. 3. Engage in stream of consciousness writing. Set a timer for 15-20 minutes and begin writing without judgment or self-censorship. Write freely, allowing your thoughts and emotions to flow onto the paper. Focus on your inner dialogue and explore any self-doubt or lack of trust that has developed. For identifying negative self-beliefs, after the stream of consciousness writing, review what you have written and identify any negative self-beliefs or self-critical thoughts that have emerged. Start small. Choose maximum 3 beliefs you see manifested in your writing. Recognize the patterns of self-doubt and mistrust that you have internalized. 5. Challenge negative self-beliefs. Take a fresh page in your notebook and write down each of the 3 negative self-beliefs you have identified. Next to each belief, write a counterstatement that challenges or refutes the negative belief. For example, if your negative belief is "I am unworthy," the counterstatement could be "I am deserving of love, respect, and self-acceptance." Then breathe deeply for a minute, noticing any subtle changes in your body happening when you switch from the negative self-belief to its counter-belief. 6. Practice self-compassion. When writing, try to leave the negative self-talk out of your sheet of paper. Instead, cultivate a kind, compassionate approach, addressing the pain you have experienced and acknowledging the strength and resilience you possess. Offer words of support, encouragement, and understanding to yourself. 7. Set small, achievable goals. Transform your list of negative beliefs and their more positive versions into small, achievable goals that align with rebuilding self-trust. We recommend using the SMART framework. Goals should be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. For example, a statement "I am deserving of love, respect, and self-acceptance" could transform to "I will practice self-love by engaging in a gentle stretching activity for 5 minutes each day for the next week." The smaller the goal and the less time it takes to accomplish, the more chance you get to be able to follow through. If the goal is too big, we tend to set big goals, as the society always tells us motivational phrases such as "go big or go home." There's a big chance it will be abandoned, and our self-worth constructed with it. 8. Regularly reflect and update. Allocate regular time to reflect on your progress and update your goals. Use writing as a tool to track your growth, celebrate achievements, and adapt your approach as needed. What benefits can you expect from engaging in this exercise? First and foremost, restoring self-trust. This exercise can help restore their self-trust by exploring and challenging negative self-beliefs and fostering self-compassion. Emotional healing. Writing about trauma allows for emotional expression, helping process and release pent-up emotions related to the traumatic experiences. Increase self-awareness. Through self-reflection and introspection, this exercise promotes self-awareness by shedding light on the impact of trauma on self-trust and identifying patterns of negative self-beliefs. Strengthening resilience. The act of rebuilding trust in oneself cultivates resilience, enabling us to develop a more positive outlook, enhance problem-solving abilities, and adapt to future challenges. Improved well-being. By addressing and working through the barriers to self-trust, we can experience improved psychological well-being, reduce stress levels, and enhanced overall life satisfaction. The Rebuilding Trust writing exercise offers a powerful and accessible tool for restoring self-trust and healing after trauma. Drawing on the scientific benefits of writing, this exercise allows us to process emotions, challenge negative self-beliefs, and foster self-compassion. By engaging in regular reflective writing, we can rebuild their trust in ourselves, enhance their emotional well-being, and cultivate resilience. The journey towards self-trust and healing is unique to each one of us, and this exercise provides a structured and empowering framework to support this transformative process. Tool 2. The Mirror Image. The mirror image writing exercise is a profound and introspective practice that encourages individuals to observe themselves in a mirror as though they were viewing another person. By adopting a detached perspective and resisting self-criticism, participants can explore their own identity and experiences through the creation of a fictional character. The benefits of this practice include increased self-awareness, empathy cultivation, and personal growth potential. The mirror image writing exercise involves the following steps. 1. Setting. Find a quiet and comfortable space where you can stand or sit in front of a mirror for approximately 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be a big mirror, in fact, it can be quite small. 2. Observation. Look at your reflection as though you are observing another person. This helps to maintain a dispassionate and non-judgmental stance, resisting the temptation to focus on perceived flaws or criticize yourself. As we tend to be more critical with ourselves than with others, you might even find out that some traits spotted in the mirror that you would perceive as flaws within yourself transform into strong points or advantages when attributed to another person. Approach the observation with curiosity and a sense of detachment. 3. Reflective writing. After the observation period, take a notebook or journal and begin writing about the person you observed in the mirror. Provide biographical details such as a name, not your own, a place, an occupation, relationships, and a backstory. Approach this writing as if you were creating a fictional character, exploring their experiences, emotions, and motivations. Benefits of the mirror image writing exercise. Self-awareness. The mirror image exercise promotes self-awareness by encouraging us to observe ourselves objectively. By stepping outside their subjective experience, we gain insights into our physical appearance, body language, and nonverbal cues. This increased self-awareness can lead to a deeper understanding of oneself and one's relationship with others. Empathy cultivation. By treating ourselves as an external entity through the mirror image exercise, we develop empathy. Stepping outside our own perspective allows us to cultivate compassion and understanding for our own struggles, challenges, and insecurities. This practice can extend beyond self-empathy, influencing how we relate to and empathize with others. Challenging self-judgment. The mirror image exercise encourages us to resist self-criticism and negative self-perception. By consciously observing ourselves without judgment, we create space for self-acceptance and self-compassion. This practice can challenge deeply ingrained patterns of self-criticism and foster a more positive and nurturing relationship with oneself. Exploration of identity. Creating a biographical narrative about the person observed in the mirror allows for an exploration of personal identity. By considering different names, occupations, relationships, and backstories, we can dive into various aspects of ourselves, uncover hidden desires or aspirations, and gain a broader perspective on our own life journey. Personal growth and transformation. The exercise serves as a platform for personal growth and transformation. By exploring our own identity as though creating a character, we open ourselves to new insights, self-reflection, and the potential for positive change. This practice can inspire us to align our actions, choices, and aspirations with a more authentic and fulfilling path. Examples of the mirror image writing exercise in practice. 1. Character development. Writers often utilize this exercise as a tool for character development. By observing themselves in the mirror and creating biographical details for the observed person, writers gain a deeper understanding of their character's motivations, desires, and conflicts. This exercise enhances the authenticity and depth of fictional characters in their writing. You can benefit from this approach and create yourself as you would create a fictional character if you were a writer. You can give yourself any traits you wish, especially including those you think you lack. It will not give you 1.50 centimeters height and black, curly hair if you are 170 blonde, but acting accordingly, as if it was true, will unblock your mind and push its comfort zone a little further away, giving you space for your identity development. 2. Self-exploration in therapeutic settings. Therapists and counselors incorporate this exercise in therapeutic settings to encourage self-exploration and self-compassion. You can guide yourself through the process of observing yourself objectively and creating a biographical narrative, facilitating personal insight, emotional healing, and self-acceptance. 3. Overcoming body image issues. By observing oneself in a non-judgmental and compassionate manner, we can challenge negative self-perceptions and develop a more positive relationship with our physical appearance. The process of creating a fictional character with a different perspective on beauty and self-worth can provide a fresh outlook and promote self-acceptance. 4. Cultivating empathy and compassion. By adopting a perspective of observing yourself as another person, you develop a greater understanding of your own vulnerabilities, struggles, and strengths. This enhanced empathy can extend to your interactions with others, promoting more compassionate and understanding relationships. Scientific research on the mirror image writing exercise. Scientific research supports the benefits of reflective writing exercises like the mirror image. Studies have shown that self-reflection and imaginative processes contribute to enhanced self-awareness, emotional regulation, and empathy. For example, 1. In a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, researchers found that self-reflection increased self-awareness and enhanced moral reasoning, leading to greater empathy and prosocial behavior. 2. Research conducted by the University of California, Berkeley, revealed that imaginative processes, such as creating fictional characters, activate the same brain regions responsible for empathy and social cognition. These findings suggest that engaging in imaginative writing exercises like the mirror image can contribute to empathy development. The mirror image writing exercise offers a unique and transformative approach to self-reflection and self-compassion. By observing oneself as though looking at another person and creating a biographical narrative, individuals gain insights into their own identity, emotions, and motivations. This exercise promotes self-awareness, empathy development, and personal growth. The mirror image exercise can be applied in various contexts, such as character development for writers, therapeutic settings, body image issues, and empathy cultivation. The mirror image serves as a valuable tool for exploring self-perception, cultivating empathy, and fostering personal transformation.